Yeah, like the rapid sensitivities.
Who's the president?
I don't know.
Oh, I know him.
What are like inside out or something?
He was a guy. I know the person only, I'm so sorry. You're the one who.
Does it say something on it? Is it like folder?
No, it's not, it's just a.
You're well spoken.
I'm too cold. I think it's more important. That's fair. I was thinking like, I have this and I have like.
And you
one
just-
button down and I was like, oh. I learned how the Europeans are kind of. I had class and they showed. He's very nitpicky. Guy here at 7. Yeah. I got here at 7 for now. I totally forgot. I totally forgot.
Oh, his name? Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, we understand that, when you talk on
Over here.
That's not.
She's in Italy, so we shouldn't be late, yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. That's very fair.
I've been through this. So you'll.
Yeah.
What do
That means that.
I forget, I can never remember if I
I'm here, right?
I think, yeah. Usually you're.
Exam. Exam.
No.
I think it's never.
Another 2 minutes and we'll.
Oh, okay. But.
If you ever need to book in London.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's different from me. I usually don't hustle it.
She texted and said she wanted to.
Yeah.
I have to rewire my brain.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking.
So my first place I got.
No, you need-
I'm the most fair I ever got.
Oh, yes, somebody told me about that, like a musical or something. I've never watched it, but I heard about it in the first instance because of this ride. Oh, yeah, I yeah, it's like,
He's like, that's fine.
You should watch that. I'm not even most excited now to watch it.
It's like that, yeah, my grandpa's really into that. Yeah, no, me too, I have this.
That's good.
Right?
I used to say.
So I think we have those stats in order, I guess last week.
Over there.
No, she typically sits, like, oh, I think James is sitting here
And
regularly, so like everyone we normally shift down, that's what I'm saying. So it's happened last week.
Everyone's gonna take my smartphone away.
There's not like everyone is thinking sharp.
thank you. It's okay, I'm moving it right now. I'm considering a plan, so that's next thing.
Okay.
Like you and James both sit down, one of them, put our name tag on James.
Yeah, now you're. Okay. Like I will hire you to get out of this.
I don't even really get it.
Why are you being?
Okay, well.
We're gonna. We're not counting. George, we're not counting the time until all this stuff.
It's not this.
Call to order, 8:05. We're gonna start off with roll call. Senator Farragallo,
Present.
Senator Centeno, Senator Dempsey,
President.
Senator De Jesus.
Here.
Senator Howard,
Present.
Senator Otto,
Present.
Senator Gruya Martinez,
Present.
Senator Akinyemi Lawale,
President.
vacant, Senator Patel,
Here.
Senator Jenkins. Here. Senator Stefan,
President.
Senator Scarelli,
Present.
Senator Guzman.
Here.
Senator Lozer,
Here.
Senator Hill,
Present.
President Pro Tem Spivak. Here. President Wright,
President.
I am here. Chief of Staff Kieran,
Present.
Attorney General Polanco she's not here, right? Absent. Chief Communications Officer Outer. Chief Financial Officer Mochik.
Here.
And Clerk Rodriguez Zapata. Absent. Alright, Desire has a nice comprehensive executive address to give, so everybody direct your attention, please.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you to all of those student government members and people just in student government in general that helped with the state fair. We were very coordinated. Everyone did their part and the event went really smoothly. And the turnout was excellent for our first event of the year. And we look forward for more to come. Also, I hope you all had an amazing winter break. I did not add that, but I hope you all did have an amazing fall break. Following on. So here are some updates that my administration has been working on since we all last met. Vice President Orr and I met with President Link a week ago today. And as I promised, I would have a full report for you, and I'm gonna give that report right now, followed by other things. So regarding the university's finances, Drew finally has a cash neutral budget. So the cash deficit has been eliminated. And revenue is gradually increasing. And the expenses are currently being cut, but they're still maintaining the quality of student experience. The university is looking for what President Link calls transformative investors, which are individuals who want to become part of Drew's community, not just financially or monetarily, but will be an aid in our institution and its culture, bringing their experience and contributions forward for the advancement of the university at large. The university currently has not begun the work for FY27, being their finance plans for next year, fiscal year, specifically, not school year, but year term. Many questions people have asked President Link for. In general, she may not be able to give concrete answers to due to a lot of information being asked, maybe more suitable to be asked from one of the many vice presidents at Drew. For example, Vice President Frank Mertz oversees campus life and student affairs. He would know more about student conduct and dining issues rather than President Link herself. President Link handles a lot of things like crisis management being one of them. Therefore, with big problems that arise in various areas of Drew's sustenance, like campus life or enrollment management, she would find it necessary to step in and help in that decision. Her role as president is essentially to do philanthropy for the university, maintain community partners with external organizations and individuals, and be what she calls a strategic thinker. She aids in the decision making, as mentioned. The vice presidents handle specific areas that make up our campus experience, and they run it on their own accord. However, when in doubt or initiatives are larger in scale and have multiple moving parts, President Link is more involved. For example, when Drew had a financial crisis last year, which they're still ironing out the situation, that's when it was an all hands on deck kind of situation where President Link was like at the center. President Link stated that the federal government currently is not aiming to the longevity of higher education in all of its areas within the sectors of these institutions. She recently visited DC, and all presidents from every university across the country do this thing where they go to Capitol Hill and they lobby around. And this was one of the main concerning themes during that time, which is a couple months ago. There are currently conversations about the future of higher education and what that will be in the year to come. President Link highly recommends contacting Vice President Ellen Johnson. She's oversees enrollment management, and strategic communications. Her office is right there, for ongoing issues with the website that are outstanding. So things that should have been fixed but have not been fixed. The university is transitioning to Banner 9 self-service, which will solve many of the issues when using institutional sites. President Link highly recommends that the student government of the College of Liberal Arts of University communicate our accomplishments, big or small, to the student body and progression on advancements regarding initiatives or addressing student concerns. Be explicit in explaining the role of SGA members and the powers that they have. Lastly, just making the student body overly aware of who to contact and for what. So please take that as you will. If you are a committee chair, please be on the lookout for an update on availability for our semesterly committee leadership summit. A lot of things fell through the crack over break, and I still haven't gotten word from a majority of the committee chairs on their availability for this meeting to take place. I know who has contacted me, but everyone has not. So I would like you all, please be on the lookout for an email regarding that. Vice President Orr's communication streamlining efforts within our body to become more efficient seems to be working well so far. So let's continue to be engaged within our respective duties collectively as individuals and doing our part. Last Tuesday, I had a meeting with a few students, senators, and other club leaders on the topic of period poverty and menstrual accessibility at Drew, where we had a well-needed and intense conversation on the matter. Some of those students are present today, and we thank them for their eagerness and hope to hear their input on the matter today. After our Halloween planning last week, I hope to meet with some other departments and organizations involved with the Nightmare on Madison Avenue. Soon, just awaiting email responses from all those different. I hope to have a full-fledged plan with more details by the time we meet again in 2 weeks. President Link herself has also said that she would like to follow up on the matter in terms of the period of poverty and menstrual accessibility. I mentioned it to her during our meeting with myself and VP Orr. So she's gonna do what she can on her end to follow up on the overall initiative institutionally and see what if there's room for her to do in her capacity on the matter in terms of just communications and delegate. I also had a meeting with all of our advisors yesterday regarding the matter as well. And there are many different avenues that we can go regarding this initiative. I look forward to collaborating on all fronts of SGA's finances, limitations, and reach to make something happen overall. I have tasked Senator Dempsey as the point of contact for all matters regarding SGA's role in addressing period poverty and menstrual accessibility at Drew, as he is the acting chair of Accessibility and Student Health Committee. So please feel free to contact him in any regard to this matter specifically. And as usual, if you'd like to schedule a meeting with me to discuss your concerns as a student or various initiatives and programming as a member of student government, please schedule a meeting right here with this link. Thank you.
Given that this was a very loaded executive address with a lot of talk with President Lincoln, there's a lot of other things. I'm gonna take a couple brief questions if anybody has any before we move on. Senator Loser?
Do we have a timeline for the Banner 9 rollout?
That was not discussed in terms of actual dates, but I'm pretty sure it was the way she spoke on it. It was sounded like it was an effective immediate, situation.
I think we have the contact listed. We could probably get a more specific timeline with that. We can certainly follow up. Any other quick pressing questions regarding anything related to the executive address before we move on? No, wonderful. Student concerns and compliments. We have nothing listed. Constituent, would you like to state your name, please?
I'm Eric Robinson.
Robinson?
Yeah.
Constituent Robinson, would you like to speak?
So I spoke with President Zaire. I was the person who met with along with other people, and other senators about the issue with theory of property. I mean, I just wanted to put this on your radar. I know it has been on your radar and it's quite, you know, the reason I met with President Zaire, sorry, was because I figured I'm someone that's coming from outside student government. I have no understanding of the logistics, no understanding of all of this. I've met with President Zaire to see what is the logistical issue. Why is something so simple like this, that is clearly a necessity, not been passed? Why is that the case? I met with President Zaire and I found that it seems that all that's stopping student government from passing such a proposition is ineptitude, which is kind of disappointing. You know, I came up with myself, provide mentor products on campus. It's not very complicated. I work with other senators that are in the room with me right now that I'm also friends with. Quite frankly, $1,000 was spent on the state's fair. That added, I'm sorry for phrasing this in my language, that added nothing to the student body. It didn't mean anything to us. You know what would mean something is if menstrual products were provided, because you know condoms are provided for free in front of health services, not menstrual products. Regardless of if you believe in systematic oppression or not, that is quite frankly a tangible moment of systematic patriarchy taking place on campus here. That it seems the student government is useless in providing solutions for it. And you guys have the means to do this. I know you do, because $1,000 was spent on students fair. And I'm sorry, but it wasn't worth $1,000. It didn't. I guess if I could say anything else, it would be don't blame the student body for not being for not voting, for not coming in, presenting issues, because that's not our fault. That's not the student body's fault. That's your fault. That's student government's fault. That you guys don't have a reason to show the student body why you guys are a useful institution. And something that means something that's something that's anything but symbolic. Because right now it seems you're nothing but symbolic. Everyone I've spoken to does not like you. I'm sorry. I'm friends with a lot of you. I think you're great people. On the level of being a senator, getting things done, I'm not too sure. It doesn't seem like much has been getting done here. So I would just say that, you know, if I started a band and I played really, really bad music, I would not blame the audience for not buying my records. I would play better music. Then the audience will like my records. Then I will be successful. I would just keep that in mind and, you know, be a little bit more fiscally responsible. Think about why people elect representatives. I don't know what you guys are doing, but it doesn't seem like it's anything that's useful. Thank you, sorry, I know that was very abrasive, but I feel like you guys need to hear that, or everyone here needs to hear that. Because I don't think anyone's really going to say it, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna go to questions across the Senate in a second. I would like to personally ask you, you said that, that you personally have taken initiatives and worked with other members of the Senate to see some successes within this aspect. Can you, describe and show a little light to that and what has been successful within that regard?
I didn't say anything has been successful, I think I said a plan has been created. Implementation of the plan, that's on you guys, I can't do that, because I'm just one student. The plan that has been created is that, baskets of mentioned products are put outside bathrooms at centralized spots on campus, Commons and UC. If you guys set up a fund, which you guys contribute the great amount, sorry, this grade is, none of us have money, no clubs on campus have money right now. You guys have a lot more money relatively. If you guys contribute that amount to something that means something to the student body, like providing menstrual products, I think that would be useful. You set up a fund in which you partly contribute, other clubs partly contribute. I know that other clubs would get grants from student government, if I'm not mistaken, for funding their own events. If, say, like, I mean, this is very logistical, but like, if a club, say, donates the most amount of money to this fund, then they are given a grant or something that they can, for an event that they can put on. You know, something simple like a reward like that to encourage clubs to contribute their fund is something that is so necessary for student life. And I know that it's disappointing that we have to do this, but you know, if the administration's not doing this, then who will? Because we're the students that live on campus, we need to get something done. And hopefully then the administration will open up their ears and learn what is important to the student life. That is the plan. I guess, do I have anything else? If I'm not mistaken, like multiple motions have been done for this, but I think a previous motion, which, I mean, the idea of this makes me laugh, but said that they would provide menstrual products in bathrooms. But the reason it didn't get through was because you guys didn't have funding for a machine that would dispense it. That is hilarious. You guys don't need a machine to do this. That is fiscally irresponsible. What I'm talking about is very thin. I could fund it. I mean, I have money from working as a student on campus. I could fund this, but I know I shouldn't. Sorry, I'm talking too much, but you understand my point, like what the plan is here. But again, not successful. It's all theoretical. I think the proposition that it could become tangible is very possible.
Does anybody other senators, Senator Otto?
I was just at Marywood College, for a volleyball tournament and they had baskets of menstrual products in the bathrooms. Which seemed effective and like, as a student, I was like, oh, that's such a brilliant idea. Just out of curiosity, do you know who would like be in charge of refilling and making sure that those don't end up empty? Cause I know sometimes like things like that get like lost in the cracks and then things get weird.
My initial thoughts on this before I consulted the people I'm working with was that anyone who's up for it can do it. I can do it. Anyone can do it.
Sign-up sheet?
It could be like a sign-up sheet, but also I think that's maybe not the job of the student body.
Yeah.
I think that student government, you guys have, if I'm not wrong, Senator Dempsey is, what was it, like the health.
Health and accessibility chair, yeah.
What was that?
Health and accessibility chair.
Health and accessibility chair. Someone part of that committee could help figure out the logistical things like that. See, like, again, I shouldn't be figuring out the logistics here. Sorry, even though I am, I understand here that it's not my job. And maybe I'm doing what other people should be doing. But yeah, that is my answer to that question.
Anybody else like to comment? Senator Santana?
I really commend your passion on this issue. I think it's a very important thing. I don't want to say anything to discredit your argument. Yeah, I think that it's a good idea. It could be a good use of our funding. It definitely depends, and it would definitely limit our events that we do put on, and that I feel like is the biggest thing that shows the student body what student government is about in general. So I feel like it could be slightly problematic in that way because if we have period products, but then we have absolutely nothing else because we're consistently funding the purchasing and then also the replenishing is what I think seems like the hardest financial burden. We could probably buy 500 tampons, but it's replacing it as often as we need and we definitely would need to gather data on how often you would need to replace those things. But you're right, it's not your job to do the logistical work. I think it's a good idea, and I'd support it if it didn't limit our ability to also have other things to show the student body. I would like both, and I don't know if we can have our cake and eat it too. So that kind of comes down to the logistics of it all. But thank you for coming here.
Can I respond to that?
I'm gonna go to Senator Lozer, and then if there's more directed, hopefully you can like consolidate this, it's just an issue, related to time. Senator Lozer.
Yeah, I'd argue that providing period products for probably over half the student body is more important than the events we put on, that attract maybe, 10% of them at best. I know that sounds really harsh, but at the end of the day, what is student government about? Is this an event planning committee, or is it about making the school better?
We'll do Senator Jenkins back to you, and then we'll go back to Senator Hill, then we can keep redirecting questions if they're related to it. Yeah, Senator.
I heavily concur with, Senator Loiser. Yeah, we're too kind of, I feel like we're too wrapped up in events rather than doing stuff. She put it perfectly. I just wanted to back my support.
Constituent Robinson, would you like to add anything before we direct more questions?
Yeah, I mean, my, basically response to that was basically what everyone else said. You guys aren't for clubs, if I'm not mistaken, use the government. You get things done for student body. I don't know, I can't back the things up, the numbers up, but 10% of the student body is coming to your events. 54% of this campus is women. That's 54% of the campus who maybe would like you more. If you guys did this, I think that would be more useful than, States Fair. And yeah, the events, if you guys really want to do events, how about do something that raises funding for, the project of getting free menstrual products on campus. Like if you collaborated with other clubs. Again, I'm doing your work for you, I'm sorry, but collaborated with other clubs, tried to get the funding going, tried to get something, hosted events that mean something. I don't know what the state's for is. I genuinely don't. I'm sorry, maybe that's knowledge on my part that wasn't imparted. But I don't know what that was. I didn't even know you guys did it until I talked about it, right? But yeah, there are simple answers to these issues. I think we shouldn't get caught up in, yeah, sorry, you guys aren't club, you're government. Yeah, do your work.
Senator Hill?
Okay, so one thing that I wanted to say about this is that I do think it is important, but then we also have to think about the fact that we have to think about how like different women's bodies are, because that doesn't even lead into the issues of we have to buy things for different flows, we have to do this. But then I was also thinking about how I'm not really sure if there's gonna be pushback from like something like C-Store because they sell these things. And the thing is that if they sell it and now they're not making any profit because of that, we might also get more issues. And then with the whole event, I feel like we need to have balance because I feel like events are needed. That's a part of our school culture. The whole thing is like, yes, we're supposed to help, but we also embody the school spirit and we don't want this to just turn into a dead school. Like we're not really big on many things. So trying to keep students engaged is a big thing. We have a lack of students in clubs and other things. And as student government, we also need to push for those initiatives as well. So there's a lot of things that are going on and a lot of things behind the scenes. And we just recently started. So and I'm a new senator. I didn't know that this was an issue that happened in the past. So I would just say that these things are gonna take time. Even though we feel like it should happen immediately, it's not gonna happen as quickly as we would like it to.
I'm gonna go to Senator Jenkins, then we're gonna Akanyemi Lawale, then Stefan, we'll have it redirected back to you after that. Howard, Senator Hap.
Point of inquiry, do we have And did we do any kind of head count for the state's fair, or are we just taking up these 10% numbers, or we have like?
I don't know where 10% is.
Didn't seem like a lot of people came genuinely, like maybe 200 that I saw,
Okay.
so.
There was also a signage that I can get that number, but also that number definitely changed because at some point we didn't have coverage for someone to be at check-in, so there was that. And there were ebbs and flows throughout the entire community, and I can get the number in terms of how many people actually signed up at our group.
We'll go Senator Stefan, then Senator Akinwumi.
Do the other way around.
Whichever of you guys would like to speak first,
Okay, I think all the points we just raised makes it very important that we have a town hall. So that we can actually find out what these students need, because it seems like we're just pushing, okay, this is what we think they need, but if we don't do an outreach to actually find out. What does the general population need, we're just gonna keep doing guessing games, and it's not gonna amount to anything major. I also had a meeting with my advisor, Professor Mecca, and that was majority of what she said to me. She said, get together with students and discuss what they're feeling, what they've experienced, and any directions that they think we should take. So I think if we do something like that, that would be very impactful. And like how we think about what we need to do with student body.
all right, we'll go to Senator Stefan, then I'm gonna go back to Mr. President, right? Then we'll go back to Constituent Robinson.
I also commend your passion within this like subject area, especially from what it seems, it's not something that like affects you directly, but it's still something you have a passion for. But as Senator Hill was saying, like these things like do take time, as well as it's also that you seem to have come in very headstrong, and yes, it is the student government's job to like take your idea and make it an action plan. So I understand you not wanting to do the logistical like background of it. But I feel like your easiest route would have been going to one senator and then having them be able to create a resolution so that we could be more aware of it, in a more like more active tone, I guess. And then also that there's not anything with the how this process certainly could like be the funding. There's not that there isn't free products as well. For example, I work with the Center for Civic Engagement, who has Jewish Food Pantry. And when I say there is a lot of products in there, I mean there is a lot of products in there that are free and accessible to the student community. It's just that they have strict hours. So I do understand where your idea would be like 24-hour service. So it's not like they have to come in for a specific time or anything. But there are free products available for those who do need, and the food pantry could do a better job of being able to, but that just also just seemed like a campus issue of like every department basically not being able to express the different resources they have. That's something I've come across with all of my areas that I work with. Before the food pantry, they do have products available that are free. It's just that you have to go within those certain hours.
We're gonna go President Wright, and then back to Constituent Robinson. I'll touch, and the Senator, Besson.
Yeah, just to the point on the town hall question, we are having the town hall next month. The only reason why it hasn't happened fast enough is because a lot of you have been here. You guys need to get settled into your roles before I throw you out to the lions then. So, in terms of preparing your own initiatives and preparing your own resolutions, and doing all those types of things and really figuring out what you're gonna be spending your year in office doing. I don't wanna just have a town hall and you guys not be prepared for what you have to bring to the table. You don't just wanna go to a town hall, asking students what they want, you have to provide a cheer plan to do for them that you ran on. So not only should you be fulfilling whatever needs or desires that the students are expecting you to do, but also what got you elected is what you should be working on currently right now before you hear everything else that you're anywhere between 400 to 1,000 constituents have to say. So, it's up in the air at the moment in terms of the date, but sometime in November, there will be a student-wide for every member of the student government will be in participation, but every member of the Senate will be expected to be on stage, ready to do whatever and answer whatever questions that the student body may have in regards to their specific class or constituency based off transfer status or international status, et cetera. So be prepared and brace yourselves for it on November 8th.
We're gonna go, Constituent Robinson, and back to Senator Nelson.
Yeah, I know I came in extra, I understand that completely, but do not mistake my passion for unrealized idealism. I know what I'm talking about, I think I do. I think I understand the issue, I understand a lot of logistics that is happening. I'm talking with a lot of you guys, I know what's going on, if I'm president, right, sorry, not saying. Maybe I don't have the entire issue, maybe that's egoism on my part, but, you know, I think that is a, depressing, you know, scale we're measuring here, that profits might be taken from the C-store. Because we're not providing menstrual products, because we provide free menstrual products, that is depressing. On the topic of food pantry and whatnot, it's not 24/7, that's a moot point, it's not 24/7. This is an issue that is 24/7, that's always needed. It's yeah, and students should not be spending money on this. C-store is selling it, I understand, it should not be a cost thing. This is, I mean, we're students here, we're all students here. Our pockets are not full of cash, I don't know where you're coming from. But, you know, we have money that we need to direct towards our education. And maybe we shouldn't be, you know, having to worry about these very basic necessities that should be provided to all students on campus. But, yeah, and I guess forgive me for coming off extra. You know, but don't worry that I haven't done my research.
I'm actually gonna go Senator Lozer and then Senator DeJesus. We're gonna end with Dempsey as the chair of the Health and Accessibility Committee, and then we'll wrap up this portion of the meeting. So Senator Lozer and Senator DeJesus.
If there is not something explicitly in the gourmet dining contract that prevents us from giving out period products, then they can't really raise an issue with us, except for throwing a hissy fit, which quite frankly, I think we can deal with. And also, all the things that you guys are mentioning are great, but they're not 24/7, and I did not even know that existed. The food pantry, like I knew it was a food pantry, but I didn't know it was like a period pantry. And also, I live in Asbury. I do not want to hike all the way to C-store in the middle of the night to get something. When in any other school, I could go to my bathroom and find it.
Senator DeJesus.
So regarding the food pantry, I do wanna emphasize that it is completely student and like Rena said, the hours are kind of inconvenient because only like a couple of students can do it at a time and volunteer to, help with that. But also another thing, during my time working at the food pantry last year, they only provided tampons. I don't know about all of you people who get periods, but I don't like tampons, I don't like using tampons, I can't use those, I only use pads. And obviously you can't be picky with like that when it comes to like, right, like your period and stuff like that, but I do wanna mention that, like, sometimes they may only have one variety and not everyone may wanna use that, but again, sometimes you can't be picky with that kind of thing, and I understand that, but I did just wanna mention that as well.
All right, before we end with Senator Dempsey, we're going to Senator Steffen, and then we're gonna go to VP Burks over here in the back.
Point of information, I was just there on Friday when we got a new shipment in. When I tell you we have both pads and tampons and a lot of them, I tell you we have a lot of them. Very good.
I think that one comment just sums up a lot of the different issues, right? Even if you're in Asbury and don't wanna go and pick something up, if you go to your bathroom and it's not the product that you're choosing, then that's also a challenge and an issue that is there. I've had probably 3 different meetings on this in the last 24 hours. One person was appalled that we would not just be providing reusable product. Because reusable cups are something that were there, it's more environmentally friendly, and it's something that is much more cost conscious to both aesthetically and out there. I was shocked when that person would have mentioned it in that way, but there are ways to go ahead and do things through the food pantry. The Drew Staff Association has said that they would work on this as a drive to go ahead and create product that is there. Because it is people's responsibility to donate and push stuff forward in there. There's going to be a slew of students who will not wanna have their actual dollars go to pay for a product that somebody else can purchase. That happens in everything, so who cares, right? In some ways, because you're gonna get that feedback about everything. Access to most products should be available to just about everyone. Probably all of us have different conversations and beliefs about access to weapons and other different things like that, but access to most things should be there, but I've heard nothing really on, there's agencies out there who supply this for free. So you can save your Drew tuition dollars that pay for your education and your fee dollars that pay for your education and try to work with developing a committee, whether it's through Senator Dempsey's committee, to go ahead and work on grant writing. There are companies that will go ahead and donate product because that is what they do. They do it at the beginning of every year. So to just come and say we're going to take and self-fund something, A, it's not sustainable. It just is not, and there's other resources that benefit your dollar to be spent in a different way, right? And then there are different ways to potentially stock up. Another key reason why we want to use the food pantry is often if someone is having access issues to a certain issue or a product or an area in their life, they're having access to other issues in their life. So it could be something that is funding, and often people at the food pantry will go ahead and start to develop that relationship and work with them. So whether that's the Drew Food Pantry or one that is also local, so there's reasons why some of the things in which they are set up, the Center for Civic Engagement, and even today, so they're all in, on working to go ahead and address this issue as well. So I think there's many better ways than to just say we're going to throw money at an issue before you go ahead and start thinking, okay, these are some of the issues that in ways that we keep addressing it. You're probably looking at months before you would ever get a machine ever put up in a bathroom because the amount of time, energy, expense, cost, et cetera, to purchase the product and have the facilities department install that. And then who are you paying to refill that on the regular? If you've ever seen outside the mailroom, there's a condom dispenser. It has been filled in a decade. His One's Concerns House once thought it was really cool to put it up. Within a weekend, nearly 1,000 condoms were taken. And they said, we can't afford this anymore to pay it from our club, and we're tired of refilling this at 100 condoms a pop because some jerk keeps on taking them out, right? So there's realistic challenges that you have to look to sort of overcome. But I think one of the best things to start doing is attacking it from all sides. So if we know that there's people that are gonna be funding stuff into the food pantry, whether it's in staff donation, whether it's student donation, sometimes students donate to the food pantry, et cetera. That is one way to get that information out so that people know you can stock up. So that way, you're able to go ahead and sort of monitor things that might be there, because there's going to be some rules, but they're not going to be that restrictive in many ways. But it's also better than just having things in a basket that are going to be gone because one person's taking it and no one else is refilling it, because with the food pantry, there's people that were obviously working on grant writing and other different things that are there. And resources that we can look at. There's agencies that work on this routinely. And I think that is another way to go ahead and address it. And if there's a short-term need for immediate funds for a true area of concern, then that is something, again, that could also be done by limited money. But schools are spending $50,000, which is probably 3 of your tuition dollars when you look at discounting rates. So 3 students in this room would be paying for your dollars instead of going to education, but to, hygiene products. And that's just one personal hygiene product. What about other different issues that would also pop up for different needs? We've had conversations on laundry detergent before, and why isn't that provided for free, because people can't afford that. We've had conversations on dental care and other different employment. So these are just things that go ahead and think through, but I spoke too much, but I haven't been here in 3 meetings, so do you.
Thank you, VP Mertz. We're gonna go Senator Dempsey, and then me, and President Wright and myself will end this portion, and then we'll move on.
So I just wanted to say, well, I'm gonna be genuine. I was going to be like, it was critical in my head, because I was like, why are you coming in pre-defensive? But you were right to do so, and I wish you weren't. I've been aggravated. But beyond that, if we were to throw money at the problem, I'm estimating that it would cost about $10,000 for Drew University to provide period products, given the rate of the Freedom Tampon movement's about $7 a student at the high end. And we've got around 1,300 menstruating students. So within that, we cannot functionally throw money at the problem because we lack the adequate budget to do it, and also that would require all of that. In the short term, I can absolutely make like a bunch of things that are like, the food pantry has period products, you want them, and then in the long term, we can argue with people, but at the current moment, that is our estimated calculation, which isn't all that much. We're not UPenn, we're not Penn State, we are 2,000 students at most, but still, it's a cost.
All right, we're gonna go to President Wright and then myself, and then we're gonna move on to action.
And I was lastly just gonna add on to what Vice President Burks was saying, in regards to the different departments that were on board. I also was at the Career Center today, and Ken Giorgio, who's the director of the Career Center, also mentioned the meeting that was had earlier with the True Staff Association. She said that the Career Center is also fully on board and helping in any way that they can. So since last Tuesday, I've made lots of moves and steps in terms of streamlining communications to people that are above me and making sure that the Drew community in general is notified on this issue and that we can all hopefully collectively work together to make something happen. So this is last week's meeting is a prime example of constituents meeting out because I don't know everything. You guys don't know everything, even though there's a total of 25 plus that serve in Center Government as elected or appointed members, with in addition to all of our 9 to 10 committee chairs. We can't assume anything if students don't come up to us. Aaron is a prime example of a constituent reaching out, even though he was very passionate about it compared to what most people were being shy. He was bold, and I appreciate that to a certain extent, that is what's needed of constituents. And the problem was addressed, and it's an ongoing thing in terms of solving it, but the traction has started because he so willingly took the initiative to make noise for it.
I want to say that first and foremost, I thank you. In my year plus of being in student government, I'm not sure if we've had a constituent from outside student government come as prepared and as passionate, speak on one particular issue. And push this hard for something, for a change that they really, in a good moral fashion, want to see happen. And I want to say within this body, within student government, within committees, within the Senate, there are obstacles of logistics, obstacles of personalities. And if you feel that like you were doing the job that we are not doing, you're able to join a committee that Senator Dempsey chairs and the Health and Accessibility Committee. We need well-meaning, passionate people who are able to help make this school a better place. So I would say that don't take anything you've heard in a negative light and push back against this, that only use it to drive you further, that hopefully we will be able to come to a solution to this problem. Now we can see a lot of the hurdles that we still continue to need to have in front of us. And we can work collaboratively with, whether it's administrative levels and with, VP Merckx or other departments and committees and the Senate itself, the constituents that really do want to see change. So thank you. And, I hope everybody here takes increased devotion to make sure that we help solve problems. We're gonna move on to action items, which I don't believe this is. Yes, we have a question from Senator Rockin on the wall.
I have a point of personal privilege.
Yeah.
Okay, I have Bible study and I'm meant to give the testimony, so yeah.
Am I allowed to excuse her? Or is that a Senator Polanco position? You're excused.
Bye, Kelly.
Have a nice one.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't believe I see any action items on the agenda. So there's one. Oh, the executive cabinet. Okay, here we go. President, would you like to present the executive cabinet action item?
I would do it, that's Gabe's show.
Sorry, Dave, would you like to present the executive cabinet action item?
Yeah, let me get it. I can just move on there. Sponsored by Executive Cabinet, whereas next week, the Center for Career Development will be hosting Career Week. Whereas the student government, her path, and the fund that drew are all organizations centered on professionalism in some way, shape, or form. Whereas on Monday, October 13th, 3 organizations in coordination with the Center for Career Development will host Snapshots for Success. Whereas we will provide snacks and beverages during the duration of the event, contribute to the cost of the photographer. Whereas $300 is being requested for this event, $150 for photographer, Emory class of 28, and $150 towards snacks and beverages. Be it resolved that the student gov of the College of Liberal Arts of Drew University shall allocate $300 towards co-sponsoring Snapshots for Success headshot event. Coordination with the Center for Career Development for Career Week.
Does anyone have questions? We're gonna go Senator Howard and Senator Steiner.
A point of inquiry, just with the working budget document, it looks like for our total remaining, there isn't a formula input there, so it still has which sheet are you on? Stu Gov 25-26 budget in fall 2025 for. Oh, okay, yeah, it was just the formula's not in there, so just to help us keep track that, right, where exactly we are. Thanks.
Senator Stephen, you have your hand raised?
We don't have access to the Emory final.
It should.
We have access to the other
Secretary
two.
University, so, let me check.
We have access to the other two, but not the first. The other two, but not the first.
While we're awaiting access, we're gonna go Senator Lozer and then Senate President Pro Tem Spivak.
If I'm not mistaken, the biomedical house is doing an extremely similar thing. So have you considered asking them for funding so we don't spend so much and just combining the events? As that is something that Terrence emphasizes in every single meeting that we go to, that we need to combine more events and stop hosting the same identical events as other clubs.
That's supposed to be happening?
The biomed one? Oh, I have no idea, I've just seen the posters. I mean, I could look on the path, but
That's actually kind of weird because the person that told us mostly about that was also Kim Giorgio, who's in charge of the career development center. And she gave a whole presentation on not flashing
yeah,
as well at that same event. And I'm pretty sure if she knew that that event also existed, she would not have
I
put
mean,
the whole department on the bandwagon for it as well. So, but I'll check, but yeah.
President Pro Tem Spivak.
Is that a typo, 150/50? Probably pretty sure.
Right. On the budget, we should have 50 cents, yeah, right, so I think that would just be clearing up that issue there.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add in the question?
More like, assuming, cause I haven't seen the first one, do we have like photographs of, the photographer doing, like people that aren't blurred? Like just not in motion?
No, currently we do not. I asked for a portfolio and that's what I got. In terms of finding student photographers, a lot of people that once did photography that go to Drew currently do not do photography anymore. Or like as a business, so I should contact the bandwagon of different students at Drew that are photographers. Even the career center themselves contacted every photography major at Drew and got zero response, so we're working with what we got.
Senator.
Apologies for my lack of knowledge. Could I get an explanation of what this is? Exactly.
Yeah, so I've been in contact with the president of HerPath and the CEO of the fund, and HerPath basically almost every year does an event centered around headshots. And I knew that career week was coming up, and we've collaborated with HerPath previously last year for Women's History Month, and we've also collaborated with Fund previously last year for Financial Literacy Month back in May. So back in last May and March of 2025, we collaborated with both of these other organizations, and we just all collaboratively contacted one another, said we'd like to collaborate in some way, shape, or form again. And we're like, career week is coming up. What can we do to help with that? We looked through the career week's calendar and they didn't have anything specifically centered around headshots, but they had everything else that makes you career ready, except for one of the most essential things, that's showing your face. So we all collectively said, okay, let's help students get their LinkedIn profiles all updated. And then we came up with this idea in coordination with the event that HerPath consistently always does. We're like, okay, what ways can we make this event better? And what ways can we collaborate more? And by collaborating more, we figured out, okay, let's get a student that actually has taken photography classes at Drew and knows what they're doing, rather than just having a student from the organization taking the pictures that they come out as best quality as they can. And then on top of that, let's provide snacks and beverages in the process while, because we expect there to be a demand for getting an updated LinkedIn profile that's professional So there will be students waiting, and in the process of them waiting, they can have a light beverage or snack in the process. And then also going to more of the career week events throughout the duration of the week in preparation for what is it called? The alumni mixer, and lastly, the internships and career fair that's coming up as well. So on the 16th, I believe, and 22nd. That's basically was the brainstorm behind through us all as the main leaders of those organizations or clubs.
Senator Hill.
Okay, so I just have a quick question because this is on Monday and I'm just a little surprised that we're only finding out now, so we kind of have to make that decision today. So I guess I just wanted to ask like when it was in the talks, and then I guess this is more on the career center side, but do you know if they're going to, I guess, provide, because I know that they have the career closet, will they be closed there? Because this is kind of something that some students probably don't know about, it's gonna be a last minute thing, so some people might not have clothes, so this is more of a suggestion of, I guess, just having business casual clothes there already, in case students don't have it provided.
This event has already been on the path because one of, her path is one of the like main people in charge of this, like in terms of the 3 organizations that will be included in this event, they're taking the lead. So it's already been on the path. I don't know what's been on the path, but I know that it's been on the path. So there's that. And the career center said that I literally met with Kim today and she said she called in. So I definitely could throw that towards her and probably have something done within that time frame. And the career closet is always open from their normal business hours, so even with students are scheduling a time to go in and grab things. But I can also see if they can do something sort of extended, but I'll definitely follow up.
And then a last quick question, I guess, are there any posters or anything around? At least me, myself personally, I haven't seen any, so I guess I was just asking more about outreach to make sure that students actually come to this event.
I have not been in contact with their,
They're putting,
with the media.
no, they're putting posters out that I was at Commons.
Oh, you saw, see, yeah, like they're doing all of the more logistical side of things, so I would have to get in contact, like, I just recently spoke to the president today, and she didn't aware me that there was a post already.
I just want to quickly point out that the folders and the attachments are updated.
So,
The Senator said.
Wade said yes, like I took on 2 things on my sleeve not too long ago about them posting about it. But also point of inquiry / question for the photographer, I think that we do plan on paying someone, but I also know from her past that they have their own photographer. So like, is it that each like department is getting their own photographer, just that we're paying for one and that the other one is not, or like, did you not know about the other photographer? Do we plan on paying those photographers? Are there gonna be more than 2 photographers?
so what originally happened was when I had been meeting with Eric Rothman, who's the CEO of the fund at the university, and I also had with Sarah Silver, who's the president of her hat. We met, and we were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna need a photographer. So the last meeting that we initially had, it was, we need to find a new student that would provide that service. But since then, I was like, okay, cool, what can you guys put in terms of the bill? And then they both gave me numbers, and then this was also, all right, how much will student government? What did I think would be a good number for student government to provide as well? But they did not mention that someone from her path would be handling all of it. Maybe that was just communication that wasn't advanced to me. The last email I got from the president was today, but it didn't really part of that.
My question is, yeah, I saw this posting on the path and I received an email from it. If we were to not pass this resolution, would something happen to the event? Would it have to be postponed with the other club, more funding? Do we know the logistical consequence of us not following through this resolution, considering it's already on the path?
Right, in terms of that specifically, yes and no, in terms of student government's overall participation, that would affect it, but, I'm not gonna force you guys to do a special study session to make funding happen for this event. But I can defer to us as the cabinet at our meeting on Monday, or have an emergency meeting to how we want to allocate our budget specifically. But, I hope to not have to do that, but I will talk with both the CEO and the president of the other organization and go forth however I think is best to see fit. But I'm pretty sure the event will still happen regardless, because her, like I said, her path is taking the lead on it, and they've already posted it, they've already started to do outreach. And as of yesterday, I know that, the president of her path was still very adamant about doing the event, whether parties were involved or not. So pretty sure the event will still happen, but just, there's a way that the three of us expected for the event, our hope to go, and we hope to make that still happen, but if not, I will do my due diligence as president to do what I can in terms of student government safety.
Senator Steph.
Is there a way to just say like 150 for a photographer so that that communication could still be held like with the other, like with her path to make sure that you do have like a set person, because they do have someone that has also done this, their snapshots in the past, although they did it for volunteer rather than for being paid. I'm sure that there might be like an issue that an issue would arise if this person were to like show up and then hear about this other person getting paid. And then also that like I think that like for, at least in my opinion, that it should just say a photographer. Cause at least then like speaking with her path and the representative that is taking photos for them, at least plan to. I think that it might have just been her path and they may not explain that they have a photographer. Cause like they already had conversation about picking up lighting from the art department and stuff that they already purchased. So just like, I think it should be a photographer for now at least.
We're gonna go Senator Patel, then Senator Sempero.
I mean, for the photographer, I mean, if there's already like, I know her path because I was at the event last year. I know who's doing it. I think she's doing it again, the same person. But if we have one, I have two things, but like, if we have one photographer, I don't think so there's a need for another photographer because they're essentially doing the same thing. And another thing, like, can we lower the cost of the snacks? Because I'm looking at Stop and Shop right now, and for one box of like, one box of like small chips and stuff like that, is $11.49. So if we get like 2 or 3, it's not gonna be, and then water, like 25, like the big cases of water, like $25. I don't think so it's gonna be like over like 150. That's just my opinion.
Senator Sempero.
Point of information, Biomedical House is, headshot event is on October 14th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. This headshot event is on Monday, October 13th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So I think it would be a great idea to combine resources. However, Biomedical House is a Res Life event. As a member of Res Life staff, I do know that these things are probably already purchased because our events have to be purchased at least a week in advance. So I don't know how flexible that could be on that part of Biomedical House, but I think it definitely should be connected, and I could give somebody, whoever wants it, the point of contact for that housing advisor of Biomedical.
Does anybody else have anything like to add or say with regard to this acronym? Anybody want to, Senator Steph?
That's a question, like more like in general, like for, like this, say like we were to say, oh, edit this, edit that. When we're to vote on it, is it that we're voting on the stuff that we said to be edited or just the document itself, like what it says right now?
I mean, anytime there's a resolution on the debate, a resolution on the floor, there's always room for debate, and that also means changing the language of the resolution. Multiple times in the past, the government has had resolutions come forward, and we literally edited the document right on hand. So in terms of, you guys have not given an actual number for me to take that number and change it on the thing. If you give me a number, I am very willing to lower or whatever. But no one has actually said, I've heard, let's lower the number for snacks, not an actual number of what to lower the snacks. But yeah,
That was $50.
that's fine.
Like 50 total or 50 per?
Yeah, I need context.
$50 total, like.
So 25. Senator Hill.
Okay, so this is a point of inquiry. Where did the 150 for the photographer come from? Was this something that did the photographer ask for the 150 or?
Yes.
Okay.
Senator Jesus.
So why do they need 2 photographers?
Again, I was not aware, like, within our most recent communication with her, that, as in myself representing all student government, was as of yesterday's day, and our email thread hasn't been them providing a photographer free. the last conversation that we had in regards to a photographer was that we were gonna go look for one at Drew and we were gonna compensate them.
I could find you someone for cheaper. I'm serious.
No, and that's what I'm saying, but we can't pass a resolution that's not complete first. Like, if we're gonna pass a dollar amount tonight, it has to, everything has to match.
We're gonna go Senator Lewis, then Senator Patel, then Senator Scarelli.
I concur with Senator De Jesus. I think that this is a student photographer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think we definitely don't need two photographers and we can definitely find people for cheaper. I'm all for valuing people's art, but there are probably people in photography department who do this for like a slick $20 bill.
For 2 hours?
Yeah.
Senator Patel.
So I was want to amend for at least for the snacks portion, I calculated around $36.56 for 2 boxes of chips. If you want, I can send the link, but like, it was just the Frolay snacks, like the 2 boxes and 2 boxes for 2 water packs. $36.56, so I would just round that up to $40.
So in terms of motion, you present that
Oh,
new
yeah,
number.
sorry.
Remember the rules board, you present your amendment, and then you need a motion, and then you need a second, and then there needs to be a vote.
I move to amend the motion by block. Wait, we don't do block vote, right?
Not having break.
Roll call. Yeah.
I second.
I apologize, what was the initial motion, the motion? amend
To
the
change
resolution?
at least for the snacks portion to $40.
Then Nate?
Wait.
So there was a second, yeah.
Could you repeat the,
The actual price is $36.56, but I just rounded up to 40.
But isn't that also not including the waters?
And that's what including both, like, I just do 2 packs of like, but it's from Stop and Shop prices, so just keep that in mind.
Senator Hill?
Question, did they ever, I guess, say how many students they're expecting? Or no number at all?
Not to my knowledge. But with the amendment seconded, we will move into the roll call vote. So we'll be going down the line to vote on the amendment.
No.
Inquiry, is this $20 for each budget for $40 total?
$20 for each budget, $40 total is the amendment. Okay. Senator Lewis,
Point of inquiry, this is to amend the motion, not to vote on
not
it.
to pass the motion,
Okay.
this is to amend the motion. This is the amended motion to get the price for snacks specifically down to $40, $20 from each. Not the actual passage of the motion, just to amend it to this specifically with regard to the snacks. With that, President Pro Tempore, Spivak.
Yeah.
Senator Patel,
Yeah.
Senator Jenkins. Yeah. Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Gloria Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lozey,
Yay.
Senator Scarelli,
Yay.
Senator Guzman, Senator Stefan.
Yeah.
Senator Akin Yamawala. Oh, shit, I see the plaque, I forgot you left. Senator Hill. Senator Dempsey. Abstain. Senator Centeno.
Abstain.
Senator Howard. Yay. Senator De Jesus.
Yay.
Senator Farragut.
Yay.
Alright, that's. Okay, wonderful. With that, the amendment passes. The amendment
Just to clarify, yes. What was the number again?
40.
40, 20 for each budget.
Senator Hill.
Okay, this is another part of inquiry, I guess, was there any reasoning as to why they asked for 150? Cause I'm not trying to be like, oh, that's too much, but then it's also kind of like, it's for 2 hours, so I'm not sure. You know, what we should price it, cause I'm not sure how much photographer usually go for.
I would expect that for 2 hours that I could probably charge around 150 for equipment, services, transportation, everything. They bill you for, I think that's usually an adequate assessment of the services. Senator Stefan and Senator Scarelli.
2 things. First, I do feel that 150 is like an adequate number, especially because of the amount of time it takes outside of being like editing the photos. and all that, but, can I move to amend the motion, by changing, like, rather than listing the photographer, just say a photographer, so that you can have that conversation, and then you can, like, set a person, like, fully, so it would just say, like, I have, like, 154 a photographer with no name, by roll call?
Yes, you can. Is there a second?
I second.
Second. Right before that, because I called her twice and I didn't let her speak. I'm gonna have Senator Scarelli speak.
Just a point of inquiry, like, if we were thinking of combining these two events, would that, like, would that result in another vote having to happen to kind of work out the budget of this, or would that just be a conversation with the money already allocated, willing, just the passing of that?
Due to time, I would simply leave as is the money that's already been allocated, because it's Wednesday, the event is supposed to be on Monday, their event is on Tuesday. There's literally no time for all of us to meet again. So I would take the $40 and do it as I will, and I will be contacting the HA for the biomedical officer, as well as the CEO of the fund, and the president of her path, and figure something out, whether that be, they change as in we either do Monday or Tuesday, or, yeah. We'll look at data in terms of, since they're both on the path, people can RSVP to an event, let's see whoever has the most RSVPs and then delay it that way. In terms of any things in terms of the date change or collaborating with biomedical officers, plus our 3 organizations that are already on board to doing this around the 13th. I will be in contact with you all, so just please be proactive and check your emails, the WhatsApp and the chat.
Thank you.
With that, we had seconded the motion to amend the language of the resolution so that the photographer is more, less determined. Now we're moving into a roll call vote, so President Pro Tem.
So we are confirmed that they are editing the photos. As well as take the student.
Well, I mean, technically, there's no money going towards photo editing like I said, there was some sort of miscommunication between me and the
Okay.
other 2 club leaders. So if her pad is providing a photographer, I don't know if they're just taking pictures and that's it, or if that's, they may be taking pictures with editing. But I know with the person that I got was gonna do taking pictures and editing. But I know that person is also willing to change their numbers, that conversation can't be had right now.
Senator Patel, is your question related to?
Yeah, it's not a question, it's kind of a.
What did they agree with?
Before we go to that, just in general, like we said at previous meetings, money can always be reallocated if it's not spent. So even if you guys pass the money today, I can simply come back to you the next meeting and say, hey, we didn't spend all the money, let's put it back towards whatever you guys want to go back to. So since there's a lot of confusion going on in terms of what the money will cover and who the money will go to in terms of, or what services will be provided from the photographer specifically. There are a lot of things, ways that we can negate this conversation going longer than it needs to be. And things can be patched up as we go.
Yeah, Senator Patel.
I was at the event last year. I don't remember if she edited them, but I do remember her taking the headshots and then sending it, I think via Google Drive or something. So I remember that part. And another thing, if we were to pay the photographer, I think that's, I mean, from knowing from the photography industry, I think that's a fair price for just doing headshots. So that's just, yeah.
I'm gonna limit questions now that are not specifically related to the actual amendment. So the amendment, to clarify, is to rephrase from the photographer to a photographer, so a search for a photographer is more amorphous. But since the second of the roll call vote, if you do not have a question that's directly related to this specific amendment, I will move it until directly after. Senator Howard?
So this is solely just, we're not talking money at all here, we're just saying, we're not listing the specific photographer, we're saying, hey.
They're still looking for,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
okay, we're just looking for another photographer possibly, yeah. Senator Dempsey. Yes, you may. Senator Sanders, do you have something related to this amendment?
With information. Alright.
We'll do it after the roll call. President Pro Tem Spivak.
Abstain.
Senator Patel,
Same.
Senator Jenkins? Aye.
Yes.
Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Gruan Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lewis,
Yay.
Senator Scarelli,
Yay.
Senator Guzman, Senator Stefan,
Yeah.
Senator Hill,
Yeah.
Senator Santana,
Yay.
Senator Howard, Senator De Jesus.
Yay.
Senator Farragut.
Abstain.
I guess then should we wait for the assembly and? Actually. we need to thank all of them.
There are 15 senators present in the room right now. Wait, I think 14, yeah, 14 minus 17.
Yeah.
And 10, that's still.
Okay, there we go. With that, the resolution passes, or the amendment passes, and the resolution is amended. Now we'll go to Senator Stefan's, point of inquiry for Senator Patel.
For the photographer last year, they did edit the photo, that's why like it took some time between when they took it versus when they sent it. It's also like, when you speak with the photographer, because they do have like a certain way that they do, edit things, like if you did not agree with the way it was edited, you could also actually like the raw image, which is something I did. So the photos were edited.
Alright, does anybody else have any other questions or motions they'd like to present for this resolution? You can motion to table if that's something that you guys would like to exercise, or you can, we can motion to vote for it and then we'll pass it. Senator Howard.
So just what it's saying now, we took out the 150 for the photographer, but saying $0. Now, so if we were to vote on this, right,
194.
yeah, I'm just saying, as the document stands right now, it would be 190 total, but just the 150 isn't on there anymore. I just wasn't sure if that was a working thing or.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting.
Okay, yeah.
Like you guys.
So
said-
if we don't say anything else about it, the 150 is going back in, so 190 total.
Yeah.
So
And then-
as of right now, based off of what we've talked about so far. In terms of paying for a photographer, some people said, well, I know people that will do it for free. Oh, well, I think we should lower the number. And then there was also 150 seems like a good enough number to me. So there's no consensus at the moment, which is why it's currently 0, because that's not direct. I need a direct answer. The Senate is voting on something, and then everything, all the T's needs to be crossed and all the I's need to be dotted. So therefore, I need numbers before you guys can actually officially vote on the entire resolution. So are we paying for a photographer or are we not? Like I said, the money can always be reallocated. If the person that's from her path says that they're gonna do it for free. Next meeting on 20 something, whenever we meet again, that money will go be another resolution that says, hey, we're gonna reallocate this money. Or you can just say, no, we're just only gonna do the $40 and approve that, and then that's how we shall proceed. But that's totally up to the 16th.
We can have the 150 be a standing number. If we don't spend that on photographer, someone does it for me, it doesn't disappear into the abyss, we just get it back and spend it. So that can be our standing number for the photographer that was already pre-planned. But if you guys, as we've said, have, we can search, that's the whole point of the language, moving the language to a photographer as opposed to the photographer, so that we have that space to see if we can go less than 150. We'll still get that money back regardless, but just in purpose of passing the resolution, we can just keep it at just 190 for 40%, so 150. Senator Santana, then Senator Hill.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why we should allocate any money to the photographer if her path and Red Light has already given money to do so. I just don't think it's necessary, and I think that we should be utilizing the money that's been already spent by different parts of this university, especially at Red Light. So I don't know if I have to motion for it to stay at $0, because you said 150 is the standing number, but $0 is what's currently on the document. So I don't know, that would be technically an amendment, because it's not changing anything.
In terms of the legality, I think it's fine to stay at 0. It's just, having a consensus on everyone agreeing that 0 should remain, because that's the question that's in the air. Like it says 0 because you guys made it seem as though you wanted to change the number, so I think a vote still needs to be present simply because everyone should be on the same page, or there should be a vote to decipher if it's a majority no or a majority yes.
Senator Hill and Senator Stein.
Okay, I guess I moved them in the motion to pay $150 to the photographer by roll call vote.
All right, is there a second?
A second, oh, yeah.
Okay, President George, you leave,
Wait, can I take a,
point of information.
to Senator Centeno? I understand that not wanting to pay a photographer, like if they already have someone that's doing, like, they'll plan on doing it for free. But the person who did it, last year, at least for her path, that was also one of like a much smaller event, like it was just her path doing it. I feel like with the amount of other, organization and clubs, like, contributing to this, but they plan on it being like a much bigger event. So I feel like, the amount of work going into it would require like that amount of money.
Yeah, not for free, I'm saying like Res Life is already planning to buy one, just for the next day at the same exact
Like an
time.
actual photographer?
I believe so, if it's a headshot event, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, like a student or.
Right, I don't know, but I can ask right now.
It's not like we would pay the photographer double, we would just, if they're already paid for, we're just not gonna pay them the extra 150, we'll just be reallocated back. But if we don't have that, and then we do need to provide them with extra funds, then it's just the aspect of what we can or cannot contribute. So we'll just move into the roll call vote to change the standing amount for the photographer to 150. Senator Patel,
Abstain.
Senator Jenkins, that Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Guerrero Martinez. Abstain. Senator Lozer,
Nay.
Senator Scarrelli,
Abstain.
Senator Guzman,
Yeah.
Senator Stefan,
Yeah.
Senator Hill,
Yeah.
Senator Dempsey,
Abstain.
Yeah,
Senator Centeno,
nay.
Senator Howard, Senator Jesus.
Yay.
That was helpful.
Last thing, Senator.
Senator Farragut, I'm sorry.
Nay.
President Pro Tem Spivak.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. So with that, we will stand at 0, is the standing value.
That's what the votes equate to.
Well, the vote was to get the standing value of 150, so they say no.
Yeah, what's the total? What's the tally?
6, 6, and 4.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. So, I mean, because abstentions really equate to nothing per se. And if there's 6 nays and 6 nays. You have to bring, someone, I asked the group.
Wouldn't I need a majority to form though? The abstentions basically kind of no. Senator Dempsey.
Can I just kind of propose something for the future? Whenever we do the constitution rewriting, can we make it so that abstentions change the proportion of the room that's like being counted? Because as the current thing, it's just a no and then everyone pretends otherwise, that's really
Yeah.
stupid.
That's really what it is. That's my understanding is that within the bylaws, it functions so now.
The committee meets next semester, so
Okay.
whoever's next attorney general, mention that to them.
Okay, with that, the amendment fails. So would anybody like to suggest a motion to actually vote on the resolution? Because now we've had multiple amendments and we don't have actual motion to vote on it. Senator Lewis.
Motion to vote.
Second.
Alright, motion to vote on this resolution by roll call vote. President Pro Tem Spivak.
Zero.
Senator Patel.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just doing 40, right?
Yeah, 40 for the snacks and then absolutely nothing for anything else.
Yay.
Senator Jenkins. Yay. Senator Otto.
Yay.
Senator Guerrero Martinez.
Yeah.
Senator Lozer.
Yay.
Senator Scarrelli.
Yay.
Senator Guzman. Senator Stefan.
Nay.
Senator Hill.
Nay.
Senator Dempsey.
Yay.
Senator Centeno.
Nay.
Senator Howard. Yay. Senator Jesus. Yay. With that, the resolution passes. Oh, Senator Farragut.
That's the third part.
Senator Farragut, I apologize.
It's okay. It's abstain. Dan, do you not like me or something? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, are we having beef here? Like,
It's a little box with your name, so I forget that you're there. I'm sorry.
I'm just teasing. No, you're all good.
There we go. I can see the name now. But all right, with that, the resolution passes, so.
There two extensions.
There's on the wall.
There's two, Edgar and.
Well, but then we've got
I
11
think 10
people.
days. I think
Yeah. Alright, now. Alright. We're gonna have to revote because we don't have a concise accounting of, alright, well.
Personal privilege, but. There are 15 senators present.
So it was 10-3-2, right?
Yeah.
10-3-2?
I was fixing the.
Okay. 10-3-2. With that, the motion passes, correct?
So I thought she did it. So that-
The three numbers from the abstentions, yays, and nays, does it total to 15?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the
The count is 10-3-2.
10 yays?
10 yeas,
3 days.
3 nays, 2
Yeah,
abstentions.
passes.
Yes, resolution passes. Alright, point of,
So- With the roll call vote, isn't the whole thing the purpose keeping track of each person's vote going down the list just as? I mean, I know we don't really have a great document for that, but just the way it's phrased on
we don't
the
have,
placard.
Attorney General
Just like,
Blanc
this
is
is way to
not
keep
here.
track, because we keep running into this issue where we're not having like a tally, we're just updating it like with the number as we go, and then we've had this few times where we're not entirely sure who voted what, and it's because we can't do the block vote, so we don't have that like this many yays at once, it's just been a little confusing, I don't know if you got any ideas on streamlining this a little more.
With Attorney General Polanco here, it would be easier, her being in Italy.
Not necessarily, it's really a systematical error, we could simply just add every senator's name on the document, just like we do attendance, but after every resolution.
No, yeah.
And then have it fill in your vote as well. Same
Um,
difference, yeah.
Senator Lewis.
So it's gonna sound stupid at first, but I need you to hear me out. We can vote via Kahoot. And then no, stop it, okay? And then we can put all that into an Excel document saying what we voted on, our abstention, yay, nay.
I can see that particularly.
Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be easier?
So, look,
For particular
yeah.
reasons,
The only reason why we haven't been doing block vote all semester is because the Constitution law specifically states that the Attorney General is the person that handles all voting in the Senate. So, given that Attorney General Blanco is on Zoom, the camera quality is decent on Zoom, but just to make sure that she can actually track the voting when she is present, it's easier to do roll call vote than have her squint to see each senator raise their hand. So it's just for actors. That's the only reason why we've been doing it, but that could be a conversation that's had in terms of changing the voting pattern that we've been adhering to.
Yes, it would just shave some minutes off the agenda.
So I'm actually gonna have to propose a motion to extend the meeting as we are at 9:25. So if we can just go through and have it not extend, so we can rush down in 5 minutes, but does anybody have a motion to extend the meeting by 10 minutes?
I motion to extend the meeting.
We have a second? President Pro Tem Spivak. Nay. Senator Patel.
Nay.
Senator Jenkins.
Abstain.
Senator Otto.
Staying.
Senator Gloria Martinez. Aye. Senator Lozer.
Nay.
Senator Scarelli.
Nay.
Senator Guzman. Yeah. Senator Stefan.
Yay.
Senator Hill.
Nay.
Senator Dempsey. Yay. Senator Centeno.
Yay.
Senator Howard. Yay. Senator DeJesus.
Nay.
Senator Farragut.
Got it.
Yay.
I remembered.
Thank you, VP, or I appreciate it.
With that fails, so I'm gonna
We're
take,
gonna end in 5 minutes.
I'm gonna take the chair's responsibility. I'm gonna just move on. We're gonna go straight to Senate committee updates. Bob report,
Nothing reported, there's several weekly meetings.
Attorney General report, she's not here. Chief of Staff report,
Nothing to report.
Chief Communications Officer report. President Tempore report.
Nothing to report.
Alright, so for announcements and upcoming events, Growing the Forest, recognizing red flags on tomorrow at 4 PM in Crawford, DC. The Drew Environmental Action League has a meeting tomorrow at 6 PM in DC. DASA Interest Meet, African Game Night tomorrow at 7 PM, Holly Brown Lounge. Growing the Forest Intersectionality Dialogue on 10/10, I think that's Friday, 5 PM in the space. Her path headshot event, hopefully Monday at 6:30 in space. The drop-in resume review on the 14th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the space. Carnaval de la Latinidad, here we go. At 6 p.m. in Crawford Hall, EC. The fund general meeting on the 14th at 7:30 p.m. in the EC, and Hall of Science, my apologies. Writers at Drew, 10:15, 4:30 p.m. in the Hall Founders Room. Discover Your or Make are on 10:15, 5:30 in the Billiard Room. Discover Your Make Science and International Relations. We still have 2 votes to end the meeting. Point of voice. Nourish the Nurture Night on 10:15, 8:30 p.m. in the EC. Career and Internship Fair on 10/16/2025, at 12 p.m. I'm sure we're gonna be here at this point. Short Trek Info Session, Financial Frontiers and In-Depth Exploration of Beijing and Shanghai's Financial Dynamics on the 16th. Drew Accounting Club presents Megan Sharkey on 10/16, 7 p.m. Over the Garden Wall and Fall Crafts on 10/16, 6:30 in the space. French Halloween on 10/16 at 7 p.m. in the Clinton 118. ASU Cultural Food Making Class on 10/17 at 6 p.m. in Crawford Hall. Outdoor Club Hike in Jockey Hollow on 10/18, 11 a.m. Jockey Hollow National Historical Park. Transfer Week Kickoff 10:20, 10:30 a.m. in the EC. Discover Your Major English on 10/20, 4:15 on room 120 in Brothers College. Vehicles Without Border, BWB on 10/20, 4 p.m. in Carriage House, Circle by Tillman Lot. Ghost Tour for Students on 10/21 at 4:30 p.m. in United Methodist Archives and History Center. Short Trek Info Session, French Connection, Language and Culture in Paris on the 21st, 5 p.m. online. General meeting with the fund on the 21st, 7:30 p.m. in Hall of Science. This Hall of Science is 04. Transfer Week Movie Night, 10/21, 8 p.m. on Hamilton Hall. Short Trek Info Session, Language, Food, Culture, and Community Service on Amalfi Coast, Brothers College, 5:30 p.m., DC 118. Alumni and Student Mixer on the 22nd, 6:30 p.m. in EC 1867 Lounge. Norris and Nurture Night on the 22nd, 8:30 p.m., EC 109.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Alright, we have to vote. President Putnam Spivak. Yay. President Patel.
Yes.
And Senator Jenkins. Yay. Senator Otto.
Yay.
Senator Green Martinez.
Yay.
Senator Lozey.
Yeah.
Senator Scarelli.
Yeah.
Senator Guzman. Senator Yay. Senator Hill.
Yay.
Senator Neptune.
Yay.
Senator Centeno. Senator Howard.
Yay.
Senator De Jesus.
Yay.
Senator Farrell.
Abstain.
If you're wearing pink, please stay behind for a picture. And also, on the 16th, please wear pink to class. The whole school's trying to celebrate breast cancer awareness month. I was in the email about it. Well, it's like great awareness and honor, you know? We're celebrating the awareness and the historical and medical advancements of solving the problem. So yes, if you would please stay by for the picture, I would appreciate it. Also, if anybody wants to help me concert for SUGov, stay behind as well.
I want it Monday. Well,
Sorry.
Oh, and then Thursday, 1 to 3.
Present, right?
1 to 3.
Well, I've been watching it here, like, that's like 5 years. I don't, you know, look at me. Oh, and I really thought about this.
And it was so damn great.
I tried to get at you.
Come soon, yeah, now. Alright, you guys.
Look.
Yes.
Hey, Coco and George.
I'm gonna.
I have a question.
I don't know how to show.
Yeah.
Wait, let them say.
I can recruit and.
So technically the application's over, but I spoke with my boss. But yeah.
Also,
we're gonna-
Or no.
Yeah, so we want some more athletes. So. And then so.
Let me just put this in the.
If you got me a little bit, I would have realized sooner, but I think that, if you guys, I will email you both if you're interested. I can send you what you need to do, which is basically email her with your cover letter and your resume, and we'll take a brief time. No, but I think both will
Is it only for, maybe more than that?
Friday, Wednesday.
I still have been, so my,
Friday and
two
Wednesday.
months to make my resume with the updated college stuff while they.
I can also, sorry, I can help you with that.
Actually.
I work with the Center for Career Development, so I work with resume building.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, technically my hours have ended, but for you, because I want to, I think you'd be great.
She's also our boss.
I'm not a tour guide, I'm a mentor.
Yes, Eva is our tour guide.
But, yeah, I think it will be great.
Yeah.
If you're interested, I can email you both tonight, and we can schedule a time.
I'm not gonna yell at you. I don't know.
Yes.
Hey, you get in the picture too, right? That's her. And look, you see, do you see paper, do you see?
I can do Mondays, 11 to 2, or Fridays, 11 to 2.
I see paper.
11 a.m.
I said you don't do the picture. I said you don't do the picture.
If your schedule doesn't work with that schedule, then you can always do the next semester, and you just do events right now. It's just that I think you'd be great.
See, both sides are in it, see?
And it doesn't have, like, it's not go through the interview process.
Yeah, no, I
But
like,
it's just to get that.
Dan went to the gym.
And it's a pretty easy campus job, like it's not a big commitment, it's just like 2 hours a week. So if you're looking for high money.
Oh, he goes to the
But
gym
also
right after.
also being involved on campus. And maybe it'll be also easier for
For
you to
30
maybe,
minutes.
we get a good amount of athletic recruits.
I love
Maybe
that.
there's a lot of friends people go with them. Cause like we already have like some volleyball people, like when they have the sport,
Cause trust me, I had,
coach usually takes
if
over
I
the
went to the
sport
gym
anyway.
on Wednesday nights,
But,
and I actually remember, I just was trying to go in on Wednesday nights.
sorry.
So you have to rush.
Or at least like,
Change to the
you also
gym.
send you the description.
And then
So if you
you don't
don't like,
get by
if you don't
10.
feel like it's
That-
just.
That's like a.
The change is only if you're a coward, we're gonna full suit. And you
Yeah,
work out.
I think I have too much respect for this. Tomorrow.
I'm not a sneaker.
Let's
Yeah.
pioneer that.
Yeah, let's go.
I look at both ways. Getting someone killed, man. Jesus, I was really.
I'm gonna email you tonight, but if you need help, like, Rebel, you can send a letter. Tomorrow or Friday, yeah, tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.